Hey gang, AV here, and welcome to my review of the New Jersey Collectors Con exclusive Boss Fight Studios Vitruvian Hacks Series 1 Ultimate Spartan, the Battle-Hardened Warrior. Quite the mouthful there. As usual, we're going to have a look at him in the packaging first, and first thing you may notice is he is not a carded figure. He's in a box. And it's black and white too. So this was very, very early in the line, and very, very cool figure, quite frankly, as you're about to see. As you can see, his name is the Ultimate Spartan. That's his occupation, is the Battle-Hardened Warrior. This is an adult collectible, so unless you're 15 years or older, please turn the channel off. You have got no business watching this. I hate to be rude, but that's YouTube policy, not mine. The picture depicts him loaded to the gills. I mean, he's almost like Schwarzenegger in Commando. He's got quite a lot of stuff going on there. And you'll see why in a minute. HACS, if you can read it, actually stands for Highly Articulated Character Kit System. As I've explained in all my other videos, it basically means that the character, his accessories, his armor, even his body parts, they're all interchangeable with other HACS figures in the Vitruvian HACS line. So you can customize and kit bash your heart's content. So let's have a look at the rest of the box. Here he is from the side. As you can see, this is a depiction of Michelangelo's Vitruvian Man. There is some fine print right there with a barcode. Here is the other side with Boss Fight Studios cast and credentials. Here it is on the bottom. There ain't nothing going on. There it is from the top. There ain't nothing going on. And on the back is his file card. That's right. Even this figure came with a file card. And you know how much I love my file cards, don't you, gang? This one is slightly smaller than your typical G.I. Joe file card. And if you would like to read it, you may feel free to pause the video and do so now. All right, awesome that they include the file card even in a boxed figure. I love that. All right, so without further ado, we've looked at the black and white box long enough. Let's get the figure out. And I live in New Jersey, only about half hour away from where the Collector Con takes place. So I did purchase this myself in person when it came out, and I was very happy I did. So let's have a look at his accessories first. First thing you'll notice is figure is in the standard plastic tray with his spear in the back there. And he's got a sword and a shield. Then you'll notice this bag, and the bag is loaded with stuff. Absolutely loaded to the gills with accessories. So let's have a look at the accessories first, because that's what we do on my channel. All right. So, right off the bat, he comes with a helmet without a crest, or a mane, whatever you want to call it. He comes with this helmet with some nice gold, red, and some silver details in there, if you notice. And if you'll notice, this crest stops right at the base of the skull there. That's my helmet of choice, personally. He comes with another helmet. Not as finely detailed as the one you just saw, because there's no like web pattern here. But it does have a ponytail kind of thing hanging down the back of the neck. And this is not going to stand up. And he actually has another helmet on the figure itself, which I may as well show off now since we're on the topic of helmets. Just as nicely detailed as the others. with a little bit of dry brush detail too, it looks like. Very cool. He comes with 2 shields. He comes with the Gorgon shield with the face of Medusa on the front. And he comes with the traditional Spartan shield as well. He comes with one of these scimitar-shaped swords. I don't think it's an actual scimitar. I don't know what it's called, but you get the idea. It's not just straight and pointy. It's got quite an edge on it. He comes with a short sword, looks like, with a flared blade. Another longer sword with a flared blade. Two identical axes. A sword scabbard with a belt that just pegs on so you can rotate it back and forth. And a sword in the scabbard here, which I'd probably put in there when I just had to figure out. He comes with a figure stand in the standard black Boss Fight Studio logo with 2 foot pegs. And he comes with his alternate set of hands that I have talked about at length. And here is the figure himself. Now, the figure itself has quite a detailed paint job on him. If you'll notice, he's a little dirty on the arms. He has a little bit of blood splatter on the figure, as is including his legs and his armor and whatnot. This guy has seen some action, and he's even got a longer beard. In the standard figure. Let's bring the other figure in so that we can do a proper side-by-side comparison. Now, bear in mind, this guy is going to have the color scheme of the first release of the Spartan Warriors. This guy is a version 2 Spartan Warrior. So his colors are going to be a little bit brighter. But just so you can see, this guy's a lot cleaner than the Ultimate Spartan. This guy's definitely down and dirty, grimy, covered in blood. Head sculpts are different. He's got a much longer beard. Very, very cool. Very cool. And he is the ultimate Spartan because he not only looks like he's seen some crap, but also comes with a ton of accessories as well. Speaking of which, I'm not even done going over his accessories. I forgot the stuff in his tray. So let's get his spear out. The spear has some nice, unique painted detail on it. If you'll notice, it's brown with gold and it has a red handle. It's a little bent from being in the package. And he also has his sword here. So yeah, our ultimate Spartan is armed to the teeth, and he's badass. So let's do a size comparison now while we have him out. And then I'll go over his articulation and then my final thoughts. So here he is next to a modern G.I. Joe figure. As you can see, he is the same height, if not a tiny bit taller than the G.I. Joe. 4-inch G.I. Joe. Here he is next to a 3 3/4-inch vintage G.I. Joe. As you can see, he is noticeably taller than him. So he definitely fits in better with the modern figures than he does with the vintage ones. I can't seem to get him to stand up straight. Alright. Well, I gotta pick him up anyway. Actually, what am I doing? Gotta do his articulation now. So his head's on a barbell joint, which enables for a great range of motion. He can look down about that far. He can look up about that far. He can tilt his head from side to side. He can do a full 360. And he can even move his head forward and back a tiny bit. His arms can do a full 360. They can go up about this high. He has no articulation at the bicep, but at the elbow, he can bend about 90 degrees up, almost 90 degrees down, and then swivel all the way around, hindered a little bit by the flare on his elbow there. His wrists peg in, do a full 360 at the peg. This particular set on the figure will bend up and down at the hinge. There we go. It's a little stiff. And if you swap out the hands, the other set he comes with will bend in and out. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love the fact that they include that because it makes posing the figure look a lot more natural when you have the proper articulation. He does have a ball joint, but as I've said with all the other figures I've reviewed with wearing suits of armor, he does have a ball jointed crunch, but you're not going to be able to access it at all. And with the rarity of this figure and everything else, I do not want to mess with it. I don't want to remove his armor. You can kind of get him to do a twist, but you're going to put a lot of stress on that tab there. I'm not afraid of it breaking. I am afraid of it popping open, and getting it closed again is more trouble than it's worth, believe me. His legs can do his split about this far, but again, you're going to have to utilize the gap in his armor, and it's going to look a little silly. Getting his legs up, again, it's going to cause a gap in his armor, and the higher you go, the worse it's going to look. His knees are double jointed, so you can actually bend his heel back about that far, which is a good range. His ankles peg in and do a full 360 at the peg. You can also tilt his heel back on the hinge. Ooh, he's tight. There we go. Bend his heel back about that far and forward about that far. So he's got good articulation, the knees down and the shoulders out, but and the neck too. But his torso is severely lacking because of the armor. All in all, it's a fantastic figure. I love the inclusion of all the different accessories. He was definitely made to be army built so that you can make them look completely different from one another and yet the same part of the same regiment at the same time. I love the added detail of the blood splatter and everything. It's a very subtle touch, but it just helps sell the character as being a battle-hardened warrior, which is what the box describes him as. If you are able to come across this guy at a reasonable price, I do highly recommend that you pick him up. However, at this point, I'm not sure exactly what a reasonable price would be. I know when he first came out, I believe he retailed for $30. He's a lot more expensive than that now. And I wish you the best of luck trying to locate one. I honestly do, because I think he's really worth having. So anyway, this has been my review of the Ultimate Spartan, the Battle-Hardened Warrior from Boss Fight Studios Vitruvian Hacks Series 1. This was the New Jersey Collectors Con exclusive. If you like this video, check out my channel. If you like what you see there, then please subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.